Hey, this is Bunny. We're back again today to do a little bit of painting. And yes, I have a cold. That's why my voice is funny. But we're going to do a little bit of painting on this wooden crane. I like painting wood. Now, I wanted the wood here to be a little paler than I normally work with. So I normally work with quite dark wood, but I just wanted it to be paler. I'm also using a paint that is kind of old and chonky, so we're kind of just working it in. There's nothing wrong with using old paints if you're, like, they kind of get, kind of old and lumpy. There's nothing wrong with that if you're willing to work with them. So you have to, really sit down and work in the water and stuff, and it's fine if you're willing to do that. Now, if you're not willing to do that, I'm literally just wanting to use up that paint. So if you're not willing to do that, there's no problem with that, because it can be really annoying to properly get those paints basically rejuvenated, especially if, I just got paint all over my fingers. Good for me. But especially if you really just aren't interested in taking the time. Like, look at the paint I have on my fingers now. Good job, me. I'm so good at this. Yeah, don't stick your fingers in the paint. How about that? Which is exactly what I did. So we're just going to slap some color on here first. And I think I am going to dry brush this one. So I've been kind of not doing a lot of dry brushing lately, primarily because I figured that if I'm not going to use a piece as often, I probably should just not worry about it, right? Like, I should do only a little bit of effort. This piece I expect will get used more. And yeah, it's just a piece of terrain, but it's way more generic than some of the pieces I've been painting lately. So lately I've been painting a lot of very specific runes. Like, there's no reason to use them if you're not doing a very specific kind of set of circumstances. So I think this will get more use. I think it'll get quite a bit more use, actually. So I am going to do a little bit more on it than I have been. I'm still not going to spend a ton of time. I'm not big on spending a ton of time on certain things, because I still don't think it's going to get used a lot, but it'll get used more than some of the other things. No, I didn't put any brown on the rope. I'm going to do a different color for the rope. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I can't do the rest until that dries. So let's just get some more paint on the top because I missed a spot. And then we are going to come back when that dries, because, that's the way it goes, right? You gotta wait for it to dry. So wait for it to dry, then we'll come back. I do have other things to put on here, like some grays and things like that. And I'm going to add quite a bit, I think. Not a lot, but enough. We'll see. I don't really have a plan. All right, let's get the bottom of this painted, just so that we have a base here. And then it's really taking a long time to dry today. It's very humid here today. It's been like pouring for 2 weeks. And so when that happens, when it's been pouring for 2 weeks, it's very humid. So when it's really humid, it is more difficult for things to dry, which is normal. That's not unusual, to be honest. It's definitely not unusual for that to happen. So we're just having to kind of put up with it. There's nothing you can do, right? It's been raining for 2 weeks. What are you gonna do? Nothing. You're gonna do absolutely nothing, because there's nothing you can do, because it's, rain. It's just rain. That's about the entirety of what you can do about it, is just complain. So, we do our best. So if you're having trouble getting things to dry, just be patient. That's the real trick. Just be patient. Okay? then we have to let this dry, which is going to take a couple more hours, even though it's not very much. There we go. We're just going to let that dry. It's going to take a while. It's very humid. So we'll come back, probably do some colors on the rope. Okay, that's dry. Now we're going to just take our kind of bone-colored paint. We don't want to use a white for the rope. Typically, you don't want to use a white for the rope. Typically, you want to use something that's like a beige, very pale though. Like you don't want it like crazy. Okay. I'm going to need some gold for that, but I can't do the gold while I'm doing this. So typically when you're painting rope, what you want to do is pick a color that's not white. Okay, you're going to pick like a beige color and go with that. Not too dark though, unless you want a dark rope, but then we're going to use a wash. I just need an even thinner brush to do that part because we want to take this and go around. Yeah. And maybe not go around so much. I don't care about that. Sometimes you have to decide what you care about and what you don't care about. And sometimes you're like, that doesn't matter to me that much. So, and sometimes that's just how you go. Okay. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. Even if you look at things that are, like you buy in shops that are hand painted, you're not perfect. So you don't have to be perfect. Just do your very best. And I'm just using two slightly different sized brushes because I want to be able to get close. I'm going to put that one down and get the bigger one. They're close in size, but not quite. So this one's one size bigger. Just lets me pick up a little more paint with the brush. And this one's a little more wrecked. I use this one in areas that are small, but where I absolutely want to be able to get more paint in it because this brush is more split, which means more paint sits inside it. But it does mean it's not great for precision work. So you have to have a selection of brushes. And yeah, sometimes you want the brush. Sometimes you want the brush that has damage to it. Like I like my damaged brushes because I can get more paint inside of them and cover more area faster, but they're not good for precision work. That's why we have multiple brushes. Okay. That's why we have multiple brushes. Right? Go. I won't need that one anymore. I just need the precision one. And your precision brush will be your tiny, tiny, tiny brush. Like this one. And that tiny brush, it's going to get wrecked too. I mean, they just do. It's just the way it is. Right? They get wrecked. Because you use them. That's the whole point. Why buy them if you're not going to use them? Is always my point. Like, use them. It's okay if they get a little bit ratty. Then you just demote them. They get ratty, they get demoted to the next job. Depending on the size of the brush and what you're doing, that next job could be a lot of different things. So it could be, especially if it's a bigger brush, adding washes. So if you've kind of ripped up a bigger brush, you might want to add some washes with it. Because a round brush, especially that's split, is really good for adding your washes. So a brush that you've wrecked, It's not garbage, right? It's not garbage. And you can't see a lot of the detail when you add the paint. That's why we add a wash later, to sink into those crevices, okay? That's the whole point. So you don't see the detail on here yet, but you will later when we get a bunch of wash on here. And I always make sure I wash the rope really well. Just looking to see if there's any more spots right in here. So you get as much as you can. Yeah, I'm going to paint over that spot in gold. Decided I don't want to take the... Yeah. It works. Whatever works, right? And then I'm just going to touch up that spot where I overpainted a little bit. Then we're going to call that good. And we have to let that rope dry. So we will come back and we will paint another color in another spot. And right now we just have to let that sit. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to leave it. Okay, I want to paint this basket. I'm going to paint this basket like a darker color than the rope, but still a fairly pale color. I think I want some bronze to paint the snakes. They're snakes. I think I want to paint the snakes with bronze. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to paint the snakes this color first, just because I can. And then we'll come back with bronze and paint the snakes. Gotta wait till it dries though, obviously. Been a few times where I don't wait for it to dry. And that, sucks for me, but what can you do? You get impatient, right? Don't drop it. Get impatient, and you shouldn't. You should not get impatient. None of us should get impatient. We should all be like, you know what? It's fine. We'll just wait for the snakes to dry, but no. I think we've all done it. I'm pretty sure we have all done it at one point or another, where we're supposed to be waiting, being patient, and we're like, nope, too bad for you. So I'm going to paint in here, but I'm going to go over that with another color. I'm not sure what color it should be. The inside of the basket, I'm not sure. But I am also going to get this bluey gray color. And I'm going to hit these spots that are like man-made metal, like not stone, but metal. Kind of this bluey gray color for that. And do that just to, just to get what I want out of this. I'm going to use all of these little pegs are not really, all the little pegs are not exactly metal. They look like wooden pegs. So that's good. Okay. We're not going to worry about it too much. Like, again, don't spend too much time worrying about pieces. I'm okay getting it on the ground there because I'm going to go over that with a regular gray. But don't spend too much time worrying about pieces that don't get a lot of play. And I know I say it all the time. The reason I say it all the time is because people spend a lot of time obsessing about things they're not going to use. So we're not going to do that. We are going to not spend time obsessing about things we can't control. We are going to spend our time only thinking about things we can control. I'm touching it and getting it on my fingers because, that's how I roll. So we're not going to spend a ton of time worrying about things that we can't do anything about, right? Okay. We're not going to use this very much, so we're not going to obsess. But I am going to... Too much water on there. I am going to go around that. Okay. All right. So we have to let that dry before we do anything else. And I want to add some gray, some bronze, and I'm not 100% sure what color I want to do in that middle of that pot. But I'm going to do a color, but I'm going to think about it a little bit. Or maybe I won't think about it, and we'll just come back and I'll go, here's some blue. So we'll see. We'll see. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever color I pick is the color I picked, and that's the end of it. Okay, I've decided I feel like doing this blue in here. Nothing fancy. Just a little blue. That's all. I didn't know what color I was going to do it, to be honest. It was one of those, we could figure it out. I'm not sure. So ultimately, that's what I picked. Now, we're going to go down here and do... This is my favorite paint for actual stone. Sometimes for metal, depending on what's in the metal, but this is, for stone, my favorite paint. I like it. Especially when I put a sepia or an umber wash over it. Yeah, I like it a lot. It has a grit to it, so it has a little bit of sand, like really fine sand in the paint. So it's just a little bit gritty when it dries. And you can kind of smooth that out, right? You can smooth that out with by adding smoother paints to it so you can reduce the grittiness. But if I don't want the grittiness, I just use a different paint. I like the gritty. And you can add gritty to your own. So if you want to add gritty and you're not sure how to do it, go to your craft store. And it's usually in the paint section, but if not, it's in the regular crafting sections. But look specifically for paint that is designed. Okay, it's actually designed to go, not paint, sand. It's designed to go in paint. Okay, it works really, really well. It works really well. And you add only a little bit at a time. So the mistake people make when they're using stuff like that is they add too much. Okay, so they'll get the sand and they'll dump a whole bunch in, and then their paint has the consistency of glue. But what you want to do is go really slow. Like really slow when you do it, so that you can judge the amount, because you can always add more sand. You can't take sand out. So definitely go slow when you add stuff like that. But yeah, it works really well. Okay. And I'm just gonna... This is pushing my luck here. Like, this is really going to be pushing my luck. But I'm going to try to get some gold on here. And the reason this is going to be pushing my luck is simply going to be that I want to do that rim. And that rim That rim is really close to the blue I just put on there. But sometimes you feel like rushing, or you just don't care that much about a piece, and you're like, if it runs, it runs. Doesn't matter. But I do want to get just a little... I decided gold instead of bronze. I was thinking about doing bronze, and then I kind of went, I don't really want to do bronze. Also, I didn't want to go get the bronze paint. Yes, getting the bronze paint would have required me going out of this room, and I don't really want to go anywhere. So, I didn't get the bronze paint. I decided to use the gold paint that I already have sitting here on my painting table. So, sometimes that's how you make a decision when it comes to colors. Sometimes you go, I didn't want to. So, and remember, this channel is all about quick, easy. Eventually, I might go into more complicated techniques or slower techniques, but let's be honest, if you're just getting started, which is my target audience, you don't want techniques that are going to take you 3 weeks to finish one piece. You want to get done that piece now. And I get it, because I've been painting for a long time. And some of the things I paint take a long time. And even now, there are times that's one of the reasons I'm painting these on the channel, is because I want to do it quick and easy, because I'm not that interested in taking time with these. So there's always going to be a place for the quick and easy techniques that you're really not doing much about. Because, why would I focus too much? Also, I just want to pick up a little more of my gray, my bluey gray, and I had not done these originally, and I'm like, you know what? I actually want to. Okay. We're going to let that dry, because we're at a point where anything else I want to do is going to interfere with what I actually just put down there. So we are going to let that dry a little bit. I might need a little silver on that pot. We're going to see. I might leave it. Again, it's not something that's going to be used a lot, so it's not something we're going to fuss with, right? It's going to be used more than some of the stuff I've painted lately, but not much. It's just a wooden crane. It's nothing that special. So, we'll come back. Okay, we are going to get a bunch of wash on here. So I'm just using a sepia wash, which is a dark brown to kind of just smuts everything up. So we just want the wash to sink into all the grooves. It just gives it a little bit of definition. So it won't show up a ton on this darker wood. It'll still show up. It just won't show up as much as it does on these lighter bits. And it's really important that you get it on the rope. Okay? And remember, this channel focuses on quick, easy. You want to do it yourself, but you don't want to spend a ton of time on it. Eventually, I might do some more advanced tutorials, but right now we are focusing on quick, easy, and not taking a ton of time. So that only took a couple seconds, really. Now we're just going to let that dry, then we'll come back, flip it over, do the other side. But you can already see how it changes the look of the rope and the pot. That matters, okay? It makes it look a little more realistic. It doesn't need to look completely realistic. Again, you're painting for yourself. You want to do it quick. You want to do it easy. You want a couple of techniques, but you don't want to have to sit around airbrushing. You don't want to have to sit around doing a ton of highlights. This is one of the fastest ways. A very quick wash. There are other techniques, and sometimes we do things like dry brushing, and sometimes I add a few highlights here and there on this channel. But for the most part, what we're focusing on here is how quickly you can do it and not be completely disappointed in the results. We'll let this dry and come right back. All right, let's flip this guy over. And more wash on the other side. Especially on that rope. Rope doesn't look right if you don't wash it. So yes, this channel's about quick and easy. With the rope, I really have not found an easier way to make it look ropey than hitting it with a wash. So it's the easiest, simplest. Are there more realistic ways to do it? Yes. This is the simplest way. So you got to get that wash, you throw it on there. That's why you don't paint it a stark white. Paint it a lighter color than you intend the rope to actually be. And there you go. Now we got to wait for that to dry. I don't think I'm going to do any dry brushing, but we'll see when it's dry. We'll see. We'll make a decision then. And I'm actually going to call that done. I've decided I'm not going to do a lot of dry brushing. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. Again, it's a piece of accessory. I spend far more time on my dragons and my characters and far less time on something like a wooden crane. It doesn't need me to spend that time. It's going to be used in a handful of campaigns. So again, if you just want to do it quick and easy, don't sweat the small stuff. Take your time on your dragons or your big characters that you're going to see a lot, and let accessories like this fade into the background. That is about it for us tonight. I hope you had fun painting this wooden crane. I have fun when I paint anything, no matter which quality job I'm doing. Hope you be back with us next time. Bye!